The moose test is a test designed to simulate an evasive maneuver by swerving around an imaginary moose that has seen many failures as of recent. Every luxury SUV from the Porsche Macan to even performance-oriented coupes like the BMW M4 failed this test. But why is that? That's exactly what we're here to answer in our latest video, which explains what exactly happened to these vehicles when they were put to this test. You think that as cars technology advanced over the years, so would their ability to maneuver the moose test. However, it's not so cut and dry. For some background on the test, ideally, it's performed on dry surface with a car fully loaded with people and luggage to simulate a worst case scenario. Moose are quite common in Scandinavian countries and are often seen freely roaming on freeways or empty roads, causing thousands of accidents every year. Moose tests mimic the real-life critical situations to determine a vehicle's ability to return to its normal path after reversing steering and dodging an imminent obstacle. Moose tests are generally conducted on test tracks where each driver has to steer the car through a lane of cones placed in an S pattern and turn in a straight line. While this may sound easy, it's certainly the toughest car safety handling test and brings out the worst mechanical faults in a car. From minor problems like older tires to major design problems like improper weight distribution or design flaws, most tests are unforgiving and have been a real headache for car makers. Most of these tests are done at speeds up to 40 to 50 miles per hour, and while it may not sound like a lot, the way the test is set up, the vehicle's occupants can experience a significant amount of G-force. So why do modern cars struggle with the test despite having so many technological advancements? It has to do with a number of factors, most of which relate to the weight distribution and transfer. For example, the Jeep Grand Cherokee suspension wasn't stiff enough, allowing it to roll too much in corners. The same was true for Toyota RAV4 and Toyota Hilux, the latter of which sent the tire off the wheel due to the cornering forces. In case of cars like Porsche Macan, its electronic drive aids were too smart for their own good, while for vehicles like VW Passat and Skoda Superb, the rear-mounted batteries threw off the weight transfer. Probably one of the most surprising failures of the moose test was the new BMW M4 competition, whose performance-oriented tail-happy nature caused it to spin out. Despite being a full M product rather than a regular BMW that has had some spice sprinkled on it, the XM is anything but agile. The dimensions and weight make it difficult for the XM to succeed in the moose test than smaller crossovers. But even the Bavarian automaker's entry-level X1 crossover failed the test due to an overreactive stability control. Furthermore, some vehicles, especially affordable vehicles, feature front-wheel drive systems and have their weight mostly at the front, making them nose-heavy, which makes them worse in a moose test as improper weight distribution results in excessive body roll, causing the vehicle to leave the lane and roll over. Apart from these reasons, incorrect tire pressure, an overly sensitive steering column, slippery roads, dry conditions, lack of tire grip, faulty suspension design, or even a softly tuned suspension can cause a car to roll over or lose stability. Tesla Model Y has been put through the moose test and it impressed everyone with its nimbleness for an SUV. Electric vehicles can perform very well on these moose tests since they have been designed with a low center of gravity and even weight distribution. If the suspension is tuned correctly to handle the weight, EVs can perform very well. Tesla vehicles have been put through the moose test regularly. SUVs tend not to do very well on these types of tests, and some argue that Model Y is not really an SUV despite having the equivalent interior space. But the Model Y was compared to some of the best sedans when they have been tested, including the Model 3 and hatchbacks like Ford Focus. Now there are many reasons why SUVs fail this test, but the major ones are as follows. High center of gravity. SUVs by their nature have taller profiles compared to sedans or hatchbacks. This design aspect raises their center of gravity, which affects how they handle sudden maneuvers. When a vehicle swerves quickly, its center of gravity shifts, potentially causing instability. Higher center of gravity means there's more weight higher up, increasing the risk of tipping over, especially if the vehicle swerves too sharply. Secondly, weight distribution. SUVs often have front-heavy weight distribution, meaning a large proportion of their mass is situated towards the front of the vehicle. This distribution can impact how vehicle responds to steering inputs. During evasive maneuvers like the moose test, this weight distribution can affect the SUV's ability to swiftly change direction while maintaining stability. Thirdly, suspension design. The suspension system plays a crucial role in how a vehicle handles corners and sudden maneuvers. SUVs typically have different suspension setups compared to smaller vehicles. While these suspensions might be optimized for off-roading or towing capacity, they may not provide the same level of agility and responsiveness needed for quick evasive maneuvers on the road. Stiffer suspensions, commonly found in SUV designs, can enhance stability but might compromise agility. Fourthly, tire grip and size. The tires on an SUV can significantly impact its performance in the moose test. Larger, wider tires generally offer more grip and stability during maneuvers. However, the specific tire choice can vary between models and trim levels. Additionally, tire pressure and tread design also influence how well tires maintain traction during these sudden maneuvers.